How would you write a well-constructed, meaningful 4-paragraph essay about a plain piece of paper?
Wait a minute. You're asking us to write an essay about a plain piece of paper?
Yes. How would you write a meaningful, well-constructed 4-paragraph essay about a plain piece of paper? I'm not sure I could do that, Mr. Cox. What could I possibly write about to fill up 4 paragraphs? That's my point. When someone gives you a topic to write on like this one, you're expected to come up with the different ideas and examples on your own in order to complete the rest of the essay.
Sure, on a real topic, but on a plain piece of paper?
Okay, so you think it's not possible to construct a 4-paragraph essay about a piece of paper?
I don't see how you can do it.
Me either, Mr. Cox. I say we can, so let's get started. First, you'll need to know exactly what's supposed to go in each paragraph. Paragraph number 1, paragraph number 2, paragraph number 3, and paragraph number 4. You can't just write anything you feel like writing in these paragraphs. There's an order and a structure to each of them. Here's the 4-paragraph outline I'm going to use for this essay. It consists of 4 paragraphs where each paragraph consists of at least 4 sentences. The first paragraph will consist of these 4 sentences. The first sentence is where you'll state whatever the topic is about. Don't assume the reader knows what it is. Always state whatever it is you're going to write about in this sentence. The second sentence is where your work begins. You're going to have to come up with an idea you're going to use to either explain, defend, or describe this topic, depending on the type of topic it is. In the next sentence, you're going to have to come up with a second different idea to use to explain, defend, or describe this topic, depending on the type of topic it is. Now, each paragraph has to have a conclusion sentence to it, and in this one, you'll simply mention both ideas together here to let the reader know you're finished with the paragraph. Let's start filling in this paragraph before we move on to the next one. Irving, how would you state the topic sentence in this paragraph?
I'm not sure. How do you write a beginning sentence about a piece of paper?
Well, what exactly are you doing?
Well, I'm writing an essay about a piece of paper.
So that's what you say, exactly what it is you're doing.
Okay, I'm going to write an essay about a plain piece of paper. How's that for a first sentence?
That's good. That's exactly what you're doing. If someone picked up that essay and read that first sentence, they'd know exactly what the essay is about from the very first sentence. Now the work begins. What are some of the things you can write about concerning this piece of paper? Well, we could give a physical description of it. All right, in the second sentence, write something that tells exactly what you're about to do. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do in this essay is to physically describe this piece of paper. Irving, what else can you say about this piece of paper?
Well, I can write about all the things you can do with a plain piece of paper.
Yes, so make a sentence out of that.
Okay, the next thing I'm going to write about in this essay is all the things a piece of paper can be used for.
Very good. Now we should have a conclusion sentence to wrap up this paragraph, and it should mention both of the ideas together. Let me see if I can do this. I'm sure there are many things you can write about on this topic, but in this essay I'm going to focus on the different ways you can use this piece of paper and the physical description of it. We now have a complete introduction paragraph for this essay about a piece of paper. Let me read it through from beginning to end. I'm going to write an essay about a plain piece of paper. The first thing I'm going to do in this essay is to physically describe this piece of paper. The next thing I'm going to write about in this essay is all of the things a piece of paper can be used for. I'm sure there are many things you can write about on this topic, but in this essay I'm going to focus on the different ways you can use this piece of paper and the physical description of it. Even though there's a lot of repetition, it's important to remember that you must not assume the reader knows anything here. You must make sure you write out all 4 sentences. If you look at the first sentence, it's clear and to the point exactly what this essay is about. Sentence 2 states exactly what the first idea is that you're going to use to explain this topic in paragraph 2. Sentence 3 states exactly what the second different idea is that you're going to use to explain this topic in paragraph number 3. And sentence 4 is a conclusion sentence for this paragraph where you mention both of those ideas together in this sentence to wrap up the paragraph. This is a properly constructed introduction paragraph for a simple essay topic. Okay, now let's write paragraph number 2. What is paragraph number 2 going to be about?
I guess it's going to be explaining the first idea from paragraph 1.
Yes, The next two paragraphs are where you give specific examples on the two general ideas you gave in paragraph number 1. Here's the outline for paragraph number 2. The first sentence in paragraph 2 is where you rewrite this sentence again from paragraph number 1 to start paragraph 2, only you use different words to do it. You have to introduce what this paragraph is about in this first sentence, and you do that by restating the first idea sentence from paragraph 1, but say it using different words. This paragraph is where you're going to give specific examples to explain this idea. The next two sentences are where you'll give specific examples to explain that idea. You want to make sure you give at least two separate examples here, but you could give more examples for a better essay. The last sentence in this paragraph is a conclusion sentence for this paragraph. Every paragraph has to have a conclusion sentence to wrap up the paragraph, otherwise it's not a properly constructed paragraph. In the last sentence, you try to mention all the examples together, or mention what you did in a general statement in this sentence to wrap up the paragraph. Okay, who wants to rewrite sentence 2 from paragraph 1 to introduce this paragraph? I will. In this paragraph, I'm going to give examples of the physical description of the piece of paper. Yes, that sentence states exactly what this paragraph is about. Now your work begins again. You have to give all the physical descriptions of the piece of paper you can. Let's take a closer look at it.
So what do? Just list out all the different physical characteristics of the paper?
Yes, there's quite a few different sentences you can get out of this. For example, what is the size of a standard piece of notebook paper? It's 8.5 inches by 11 inches. So make a complete sentence out of that for your first example. Okay. The length and width of the paper is 8.5 inches wide on one side by 11 inches long on the other side. Is there anything else you can say about it? All right. There is a red line running vertically along the left side of the paper to form the left-hand margin. Yes. Is there anything else you can say about it? Okay. It also has 3 holes equally spaced vertically along the left-hand side to insert it into a ring binder. That's good. One more thing you could possibly do is try and describe how thick it is.
Okay. The paper appears to be about the thickness of a human hair.
Excellent. Now you have to write a conclusion sentence to wrap up or end this paragraph. Every paragraph has to have a conclusion to properly end it. The way you do that is to somehow mention the examples again to let the reader know that you're finished with this paragraph. Don't assume the reader automatically knows this just because the paragraph ends. You must tell the reader you're finished.
Let me see if I can do this. These examples are just several characteristics that describe a plain piece of paper.
Yes, now the reader knows you're finished with this paragraph.